Have you isolated yourself from everyone as you have started preparing for GMAT? I've seen this with most of the students. Do you think isolating yourself from everyone while preparing for GMAT beneficial? We'll understand this in this video. Hi, my name is Mandeep. I'm a GMAT coach and founder of GMAT Mantra. At GMAT Mantra, we tell students how to prepare and then we tell what to prepare. So if you're stuck with your GMAT preparation, call us and we'll tell you how to prepare for GMAT. I remember when I started my business, it was a very uncertain zone because earlier I was working, so I knew that on 31st or 30th of every month I'll get my salary. So it was pretty certain, so my financials were certain. But as I started my business, there was a lot of uncertainty because I'm going towards a business and I never done business, and no one in my family, or I was not even I never learned the skill of doing business. So it's a completely new thing for me, and there was so much uncertainty around me because what will happen by the end of this month? Will I be able to do the revenues or not? It was completely uncertain. So what I did, I just isolated myself from everybody. I was not even talking to my parents a lot. It was just more of a transaction, just we're crossing each other, or we're just spending time when we are eating food. Rest of the time I was completely into my room, just thinking what will happen, what should I do to grow my business. So right from the morning till I fell asleep, I was just thinking GMAT, and how to grow my business. So these were the only thoughts, and I stayed there for almost an year. And trust me, that was the most irritating year of my life. I was not productive. I didn't achieve a lot in that year, though I thought that isolating myself and concentrating on my business will help me out. But that was wrong assumption. And you know what? I got trained on very wrong habit of thinking. So when I'm not into my business, I was still thinking about my business. And that was the biggest mistake and the biggest, I would say the most worst habit that I learned in that period. Same goes for most of the students who are preparing for GMAT. What they do, they just isolate themselves, they just stay in their room, and they think that if they're doing anything else except GMAT, they're wasting time. And what happens, see, we have limited capacities, we have limited energy. So if you're preparing for GMAT and let's say you have, throughout the day you are free, so probably you can study for 8 hours, 10 hours, that's it. You cannot study for GMAT all 18 hours as long as you are awake, because we have limited capacities. So if you study for GMAT for 8 hours, still you're left with around 6-7 hours in which you can do other things. Maybe you don't have to go out every day with your friends. Probably you can spend some time with your parents, maybe your siblings, or maybe your close friends. So if you're preparing for GMAT, get out of this assumption, because it's a very wrong assumption that you have to isolate yourself. Second, when you're not studying for GMAT, don't think about GMAT. If you're thinking about GMAT when you're not studying for GMAT, you're wasting time and you're getting trained on a very wrong habit. And this brings a lot of anxiety. Okay, and this you get weak on your focus, you get weak on your concentration. So make sure when you're studying for GMAT, just study for GMAT. When you are not studying for GMAT, don't think about GMAT. And don't isolate yourself, because see, GMAT is a long journey. Most of the students, trust me, takes around a year or two to get to 700 plus. Very few students are there who get 700 plus in their first attempt. So it's going to be a long journey. Okay, so if you just isolate yourself for 1 year or 2 years, trust me, you will develop a habit which will make you really irritating, or you will be frustrated inside, and you will not achieve anything. Trust me, you will not be able to, if you isolate yourself, your productivity will not increase. Okay, so if you're preparing for GMAT, study for GMAT for a good amount of time, but apart from that, don't isolate yourself. Just go spend time with your parents, spend time with your siblings, or spend time with your friends. And even if you want to go for a movie, go for a movie. You don't have to tell yourself, oh, if I'm going somewhere else, and it's a waste of time. It is not. Your mind needs social connection, because when we connect with others, we feel happy. and you have to have that happiness which you can invest into GMAT. So don't isolate yourself when you're preparing for GMAT. Thank you.